Hello everybody, welcome back to online class. Today's classroom is all about persuasive techniques. There's lots of ways we can look at the language. So for this class, we're going to have a look at a persuader, learning a mnemonic that helps you remember some of those key points of language. So we're all aware of persuasion. It happens around us every day. We see adverts, we have children or family who are trying to persuade us to do something. So here are my persuaders, people who want me to actually do something and ask, oh, please can I? Sometimes we're persuading in the wrong way because we're thinking about continually using that pleading tone. That's not persuasion. So in this video, I want you to think about persuasion when you're doing an English exam, whether that's IELTS or GCSE or a functional skills, and remember the grammar that you're already aware of. For example, the idea of the personal pronouns, which are used a lot in persuasion. But first of all, think about this, which is purpose. Why is the writer writing that piece of writing? Audience. Who is most likely to read it? And if it's an advert, who's most likely to watch it? And language. So what language has been used? And this is the bit that's going to get you the marks. So language is very important. You're looking at persuasion. So here is the persuader. Let's have a quick look at it. Personal pronouns, emotive language, rhetorical questions, statistics and facts, use of an authority figure, somebody that other people look up to. This might be somebody who is an idol to others, or it may be somebody who's on the television a lot or seen as a celebrity, or it might be somebody in the community like a doctor, an authority figure, or a teacher. Alliteration and anecdotes, description and imagery, exaggeration and repetition and group of three. So if you're looking at remembering the mnemonic persuader, that's the language you're thinking about. And that's the language you need to look at and ask yourself, do I know what all of these things are? Because how somebody persuades is really important. And they're appealing to you, the reader, or who we call the audience. And so in this lesson, we're going to have a look at advertisements because we see those all the time on television, on our computers, even on YouTube videos right at the beginning or partway through. So an advertisement persuades. Its purpose is usually to sell something to people. So let's have a quick look at these advertisements. So we have a car, a teddy bear, and some makeup. And when you're looking at persuasion, you're thinking about who is this aimed at? What type of audience is going to be interested in this? And in your head, you'll have some idea of which is aimed at children, but actually aimed at getting the children to persuade the parents to buy, which is aimed at parents that makes them think, oh, I'd really love that for my child. What's aimed at perhaps men or women or both? And think about the language. I saw this advertisement here and thinking about, what's the intention of the person who put that advertisement out? And I looked at, it's got some very interesting language there. I love this rule of three, the group of three. It just means putting three things together there. And although this is about healthy snacks, I'm really looking at that lovely rule of three, sing reel, dance reel, dream reel, because it's being used as the language to get you to think, hey, I'd rather have a look at those hummus chips, because not just because they're healthy, but because I'm going to remember that idea in my head of they're going to help me sing, help me dance, and help me dream. They're not really, are they? No, because I can't sing, so I'm not going to be able to sing because I have these chips. But this is what persuasion is doing, is putting ideas in your head to help you think, oh, what will that help me do? And what about if you were looking at an advertisement for this teddy bear and the advertiser's intention is really to make you believe, oh, your child will be much happier if he has this lovely cuddly toy. And what about makeup? It can be aimed towards men or women, but is very often suggesting that perhaps you'll be better looking if you have this. That's not going to really happen, is it? It may be that your facial features look beautiful with this makeup, but actually what this advert is selling is just this makeup brush. So can you see what it's doing? Saying if you have this makeup brush, wow, look at how your makeup will look. And if you're thinking about a car, I thought this was a brilliant advertisement, because I tried to think about, why has this advertisement got this wonderful car? It's very expensive, and then the slogan is stay in school. I thought, oh well, perhaps it's to make you feel quite cool or unique and special. But I had a look at what did people say about this advertisement when it came out. And one of the points that I thought was really good was when somebody said, I think it means if you stay in school, you'll be able to afford an Audi. Or more simply, Audi is for educating people. What a brilliant way to explain the intention of the advert. And this is how it's being persuasive. And we very often have persuasive adverts that use children at the front of the advert to make us think about what's it going to do for my children? How is it going to help? And I love this one in particular because of the language. Give us a smile. Remember those personal pronouns? So you're looking for that personal pronoun and it says us. It doesn't say you, it doesn't say me. The wording is us. And that's important because the advert needs to be inclusive. So to persuade, you need to be thinking about including the reader and identifying that you can do something. So even though this is about being healthier, identifying the idea of a snack, the pronoun there is one of the most important things to make the audience believe. Do think about advertisements and have a look at adverts you watch and ask yourself, how is it persuading? And then I'm just going to show you some typical things that people say adverts do. Well, they promise you it might change your life. Well, definitely you won't find a better product. You'll be really happy if you buy this. It's going to solve all your problems. All the best people are buying it, you will too. And you know what's really important? That one there at the end, that's if you don't buy it, you're going to miss out, because we have this real worry sometimes that we need to have what other people are using and we don't want to miss out. That's a really important thing. And don't forget, now's really quite a good time to be looking at adverts and thinking about persuasion, because the Christmas adverts have started already. So what are those Christmas adverts doing? Let's have a look at this one here, which is a Christmas advertisement from last year. Project a little joy this holiday season. And you're looking at the words, the language. So this actual advertisement was all about a homeless man and a young girl and how gifts were exchanged. So it's really focusing on the emotive part of persuasion, and it's really playing on words. It's playing on the words project. So let's have a look at how that is. Project a little joy. Let's get some of that joy out to other people. Also is important when you think about the fact that the product being advertised has a built-in projector. So a little play on words there, project and projector. And also the use of the word ultimate, because that grabs us, doesn't it? Ultimate video, I really need to have the ultimate one. Is that a bit of exaggeration? You have to decide when you look at the language, how is that being used? When you're looking at reading persuasion, it's thinking about what has the writer used to persuade. And one of the most important ways that somebody will persuade is to use the senses. Okay, so successful persuasion uses the 5 senses, and you'll all be very clear about what they are: hearing, sight, taste, touch, smell. Okay, so you have your 5 senses that an advertisement is going to be aimed at. We'll look at a McDonald's advertisement later and see if that fits with that. And I really love this sign, which is a bit of persuasion in a different way. And there's a picture of a dog there, and it says, I can make it to the gate in 3 seconds. Can you? And I love that idea of that question, because using questions, particularly rhetorical questions, look up rhetorical questions if you're not sure, where we ask a question, we don't really need an answer, because that answer is there, isn't it? No, I can't make it to the gate in 3 seconds, so that's persuaded me. I'm not going to even try. And that's successful persuasion. Here's that McDonald's advert, and you can also see my kitten is getting into the shot as well, because when we're on online class, he really likes to be part of it and is not very keen when he's left out. So I'm going to try and ignore him sitting in the background. So successful persuasion, McDonald's for example, successful persuasion sometimes uses humour. Don't stare too long, you'll miss the train, suggesting that McDonald's food is so tasty, looks so lovely, you really want to eat it, that you might spend too long looking at this advertisement. What a great advert is that, to persuade you to think about their food. And when you're looking at advertisements, successful persuasion is really about the catchy wordplay and the slogans. Try and think of something that you use or that you buy that has a slogan with it. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Intel Inside, just do it. Ideas for life, because you're worth it. Think differently. Actually, it should be think differently. So it's nice that it's a slogan, think different, because that's talking about buying a product. When you're thinking about persuasion, think about the words. That's the language, what's being used. And you will find the rule of 3, which is just about 3 things together. For language, it's usually 3 words grouped together, or 3 phrases. You might have groups as in 3 lots of a certain thing, like the 3 bears there. But most of all, when we're talking about rule of 3 for persuasion, we're really talking about the language, not the people or the animals that are used. So we're thinking about 3 phrases that you could use, or 3 words. And I watch a program on television called Location, Location, Location. And you can really hear what's the important thing about that program. It's about buying houses, this program, and location means where you're going to buy it. That's an important thing. So use it as a rule of 3. Location, location, location. And for me, when I was younger, a Mars bar being advertised would always have this little jingle, a Mars a day helps you work, rest and play. There's your rule of 3. Work, rest, play. So really think about the persuasion and how the language works. So when we're looking at appealing language, it often appeals to us if it's free, if it's exclusive, it means I think I'm only going to get it, nobody else is going to have the same as me. If it's healthier, or just a phrase, look no further, meaning, well, hey, we've got the thing that you need, you don't need to look anywhere else. Thinking about persuasion, going over the persuader, go over those language features and think about what you also know in addition to that, because persuader is just a mnemonic and there are other mnemonics that you can use to help you think about persuasive language. But most of all, think about what you see every day, because this includes persuasion. So think about adverts. Do adverts suggest they're going to change your life? Do they suggest you're going to be worse without it? Do they suggest this is something you won't get a better product? And are they going to solve all your programs? I beg your pardon, are they going to solve all your problems? Do you see there where there was a play on words, where I'm thinking about the television, the idea of program and the word problem. So play on words yourself. Think about putting a word into the sentence that isn't the word you need, and then ask yourself, does that make sense? Does that sound better? And when you're reading and you're looking for persuasion, you're looking at language. And finish off this lesson by going back over that persuader mnemonic and asking yourself, What do I know from that mnemonic? What don't I know? And that's the step for your next work. So I'll see you next lesson. Bye now.